Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to pressure can potatoes, cold pack potatoes. So I spent the morning peeling a bunch of potatoes and I soaked them in water and I already pre-filled up the jars so I didn't bore you with me peeling potatoes the whole time. So my pressure canner, it holds 7 quart jars. And I have one already done. So all you do is so your potatoes, you want them to be bigger than bite size because through the cooking process, they could turn to mush if you have them too small. So you want them a little bit bigger, just small enough to fit through this. You want to make sure that your potatoes that you're putting in here are firm and they're not already starting to go. You want them in the best quality that they can be. Okay, so when you do this, oops, you can just shake them so that you can fit as much potatoes in here as you can. This one here, I can fit a couple more in. Okay, once we do that, actually, you know what? I'm first gonna, I did forget to check that there's no chips on the top. And you know what? This one has something, it's not a chip, but there's an imperfection and that would stop it from sealing. So I'm gonna have to actually switch that. Thank goodness I didn't forget this step. So I will grab one of my other clean jars. We'll test this one. Which one was it? Oh, this one. Okay, so I'll just... Okay, there's a big potato in there. There we go. Okay, I have to put a mark on that. I usually put like an X on the bottom so I know not to use it for pressure canning, but I can use it for other purposes. Okay. Looks like I could put a few more potatoes in there, but I'm out, so we'll just go with that. Okay, and then next you're going to want to put either water in it or some broth. I'm going to use broth because I have quite a bit of broth downstairs that I need to use up, but you could also put water in as well. Oh, you know what I did forget? When I'm using broth that I've made, I need to make sure it goes through this. Because at the bottom of the homemade stuff, there's a lot of, I think I'm just going to leave that. There's a lot in there. And sometimes if I don't have enough broth, I'll just fill the jars halfway with broth and the other half with water too. This one didn't have as much sediment at the bottom. Okay. Then you're going to want to take some kind of stick or something long, and you're going to want to remove some of the air bubbles. Also helps move some of the potatoes. So if you had a few extra, you might be able to fit a few more in there. Okay, this one has one sitting on the top, so I think I'm going to put it in that one just so it fits a little bit better. Okay, and then we have to wipe the rims. Can't remember if I did this one or not. So especially because I'm using broth and it has a little bit of grease in it, I'm going to just use some vinegar to wipe the rims. You're just going to wipe it without the vinegar on it there. And we're going to put some clean lids on. Now, because we are cold packing these, the water in your pressure canner as well needs to be cold. So I've already put water in the pressure canner and I put a splash of vinegar in, so that way there's no watermarks on the outside. If you forget that part, it's not a big deal. It can be wiped off. Okay, so we're at the stove. I didn't mention for the pressure canner at the side, you can feel the ridges as to how full that you need to fill them. I usually fill, before I start to fill the jars, I usually grab the water 3 quarts of these to put in the bottom of the pressure canner. Okay, so now everything is in there. We will fill this up. Oh, I'm missing one. There it is. Okay. Okay. And we are going to, you know what, I am going to, I'll show you guys over here. So when I used the pressure canner the other day, and I seen some drips coming from the side. It's still sealed, but there was a few drips. So I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil around the ring, which will help help the seal a little better. Oops. So I just put a little olive oil on a napkin. Oops. Okay, that's a little bit much. Oh, making a mess there. And then I'm just going to kind of wrap it around this, trying to coat it. And it does feel very dry. So I don't do this every time I pressure can, but every couple times at least. You'll know when it doesn't. I had one time it wouldn't get the seal at all. Like the pressure just kept, or the steam just kept coming out of all different places. So I knew I had to turn it off and start from scratch after I had done this. So okay, so now we are just going to put this on. There's arrows that have to line up, and then you turn it on, twist it on, sorry. Make sure it's even on your stove. Turn that on. We're going to keep this on medium. We don't want it because they're both cold. The water's cold in the jars and in here. We want to bring the temperature up slowly so there's no breakage and you have a better chance of a good seal. So this is probably going to take a good half an hour before it even starts to make bubbly noises, because we want it to take its time. And then it's going to steam. Once it reaches boil, we're going to let it steam for 10 minutes. And then we'll put the weight on it to start pressurizing. Okay, so I will bring you back when it's that time. Okay, so the timer went off. It took about a half an hour to get all the pressure out. All you do is just turn off the stove. So now this is down to 0. This has popped down. So now you know it's safe to open it. So all you do is lift this off. And then you carefully open this, because there's going to be some steam that come out. So be very careful. Okay, so now the lid has been off for about 5 minutes. So now we're just going to take them out and put them on the counter. Okay, so now these jars are going to sit here overnight, and you don't want to open your window. I know I'm boiling in here, but you want the temperatures to kind of stay, like if I were to open the window when it's cold outside, that could possibly make these not seal, or possibly crack if they're super hot and then cold air comes through. Good indication that they are going to seal is you can see these bubbling. I hope you can see that. All of them, you can really see the bubbles. And that usually means that they're going to seal, from everything I've noticed. Okay, it's the next morning, and these all have sealed. They do. Almost all of my potatoes have lost some liquid, you can see. So that one actually has lost quite a bit of liquid. The liquid stops here, and the liquid is up here on that. So they're all different, and that's completely normal. And anything that's above this is still perfectly safe to eat. Yeah, so that's that. So I'm just going to take off these lids here. I'm going to wash everything. I'm going to date them, and I am going to put them away. And so when you store these, you don't store them with this. Okay. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next video.